bullshit. Is it unspiritual to discriminate between something being spiritual or not spiritual, or more or less spiritual? Let's see. Hello, this is Shores of Infinity with your host Chris, and let's talk today about bullshit. I was actually considering as a background picture to use a picture of bullshit, but it's not nice to look at. So, recently someone sent me a video of another so-called spiritual YouTuber saying it's very unspiritual to say that something is more or less spiritual, or that something is spiritual and something else is not. But is this true? It sounds true. It sounds logical. Yeah, how can it be spiritual to discriminate? But actually, it's bullshit. Of course, something can be not spiritual. We can discuss if something can be more or less spiritual, but definitely something can be not spiritual. To say that everything has equal value, everything is equally right and equally valuable, is of course green, woke bullshit. Spell dynamics green. They do not want to make distinctions and discriminations. Everything has the same value. That's this whole woke stuff that is going around. It's toxic green. Every color in spell dynamics has a healthy aspect and an unhealthy aspect. The healthy in green is the rebellion against the previous colors, which you need to progress into second tier. The unhealthy is just to say that everything is correct and you can choose whatever you want. You can, JPCS makes fun of that a lot. You can just identify as something. Even the children in my classroom sometimes, when I sometimes teach philosophy or history, they make fun of that. One guy recently said he identifies as a helicopter. Because it's so obviously bullshit to everyone who is not completely brainwashed. We can use the Hawkin Scale or spell dynamics for that. That's one of the reasons why these tools are so helpful and effective to some degree until some point. Yeah? Anything below Hawkin Scale 200 cannot be spiritual in any way. It's impossible. There's just so much focus on pain and suffering. The pain and suffering are so intense that they will be projected outwards, and everywhere you see pain and suffering. And then as a compensation, you will say, but everything has the same value. Yeah, no, it doesn't. Of course, from a higher perspective, there is no such a thing as value, and evaluation is one of the biggest problems. But you have to get out of this trauma first, of this constant suffering. To disengage from evaluation is something that happens in second tier. From turquoise to aubergine. It doesn't happen in orange or green or yellow. Huh? So why? People send me a lot of videos about channels they find very helpful. And for them, they might have been helpful at some point. Yeah? Because often these videos, they calibrate between 200 and 300 on the Hawkin Scale. So of course, they must be helpful initially. But then at some point, you have to see that they're bullshit. They represent so little truth and so little spirituality and so much blowing up things out of perspective. They exaggerate a little minute detail and then sell it as the greatest truth ever discovered. That's why they're bullshit. There's this very funny YouTuber comedian called Master Ken. Just Google Master Ken, Ken, and martial arts. And he makes fun of Bullshido. There is a term in martial arts, in the martial arts world nowadays, which is a combination of Bushido, which is a Japanese word for martial arts, and bullshit. And this new word is called Bullshido. And there are a lot of martial artists out there who claim that their martial arts is the best, or that their martial arts is the only one that is good for self-defense, or their martial arts is the one where you can throw people around with mind power or with chi manipulation. And most of these so-called masters are bullshitters, of course. It's not true what they teach. But a lot of people seemingly or apparently want to be misled and bullshitted, and they believe in it. And because they believe in it, they do get thrown around by his or her mind power. So Master Ken makes hilarious fun of that, and he can very well discriminate between bullshit and not bullshit, because he's the one and only martial arts master with an 11th grade black belt. But you don't need an 11th grade black belt or any black belt. You need just normal sanity or intuition. Intuition is preferable, but with normal day-to-day reason, you could also discriminate. But of course, we have been growing up in a blue and orange mindset, so that will not help us. What we have been told in our blue and orange mindset will not help us to discriminate between what is spiritual and what is not, because in blue, everything that does not belong to the religion in which you have grown up is bullshit. Must be even worse. It's heretical. It's evil. It's the devil. And in orange, of course, anything that cannot be measured by machines is bullshit. While in green, suddenly everything is okay. Everything is good and true. But there's another problem. Again, people with personality disturbances or psychopathy, they love these green woke so-called would-be spiritual movements, because they will find a lot of prey there. They're predators and they look for prey, and the people who are centered in green are very good prey. Actually, anyone who is centered in first tier color is good prey, and unfortunately Spiral Dynamics yellow as well. In yellow, you just absorb all kinds of knowledge. Whatever you find, you don't want to discriminate, and you cannot. So someone who is centered in yellow also likely will believe all kinds of bullshit, because there's no way for them to see what's true and what's not. Actually, they really cannot discriminate because they want to be open to all knowledge. Yeah, they want to get rid of those horrible blue, orange, and green fact checkers and want to be open to everything. So the last thing they want to do is discriminate. Which is good, of course, on the one hand, but on the other hand, you also absorb a lot of bullshit. So at some point, starting from turquoise onwards, you will need to use your intuition. If you don't have access to a higher form of reason, you will need to develop your intuition, and your intuition will tell you what is bullshit and what is not. And which so-called guru or famous YouTuber, influencer, whatever, actually has a personality disturbance like narcissism, antisocial, psychopathy, borderline, and so on. These people are pathological liars. They can lie the hell out of everything. They lie through their teeth without any hesitation or sign that they are lying. And it's very hard to find them out, to spot them, to reveal them. Or is it? Actually, it's not. So I will talk more about the next videos. Actually, I thought after the Hawkin Scale videos, the last few, I thought, okay, there's nothing more to say now. But I see now that we have to delve once again into psychology, to clinical psychology, and wow, it's really raining now outside. And I have more of a look at those PDs. So to summarize, of course, it's good not to assign any values from a spiritual perspective. Of course, it's spiritual not to discriminate. That is true. But you have to be there already. If you're not there already, not to discriminate will cause a lot of problems. First, you have to continue to discriminate. Otherwise, you will believe everything. That is a big problem. It was a problem in Germany in the 30s and 40s. And it was a problem in the USSR. And it's a problem now in many other totalitarian dictatorships. And even in countries nowadays which do not seem to be totalitarian, there are lots of people who are just lying to you. And you have to be able to discriminate between this and that. What is just advertisement so that you will buy something or vote for someone? And what is truth? That's very necessary and helpful. Later, if you ever get to Hawkin Scale 600 plus, or let's say Spell Dynamics Coral plus, you won't need this anymore. But until then, you do. I am regularly shocked about the videos people send to me. And I think, how can you watch this and this? They have nothing in common. But they do. And what they do have in common is that those influencers or authors or speakers or whatever, they say it's spirituality. That's what they have in common. Now, if you don't know what spirituality is, of course, then you have no way to see who's right. They say they're talking about spirituality, so they must be, right? No, they must not. One easy way is to adopt UG's method. Just assume that everything is bullshit until you have verified it yourself. That's UG method and GoToGF method. It's very helpful. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you for watching and liking. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for joining me as a patron. Thank you to all those who have already joined me as patrons. Thank you very much.